So we'll do a drive-by-drive breakdown. We talked about the opening field goal that Hopkins missed, 47-yarder. Howard Cross. We were listening to it on the radio because we were late getting to the party, watch party. And Howard Cross was mentioning it, in the pre-games that the kickers were having trouble with the wind. So I think that's had contributed to it. 12-play drive. And this goes back to like the Giants just stink on the opening drive defensively. We cannot just get a 3-and-out. Can't just force a punt on our opening drive. I think that the opposing team has scored on the opening drive every single freaking time. And a lot of plays. I mean, almost every drive that Washington had in this game was double digits, which is insane. This first opening drive was all running backs: McKissic, J.D. McKissic, Peyton Barber, and Antonio Gibson. And looking at some of the plays that from the highlights, it's like you could see the linebackers were really dropping deep to cover these like dig in routes, making sure the tight end was squeezed in between the safety and just letting Washington have these underneath balls, thinking that we could come up and make the tackle. And sometimes we did, and sometimes we didn't. And it would go for like 9 yards a clip. I don't know if that's the best approach, especially considering what our offense is, but we had a pretty good drive in response after the missed field goal. Big play action to Evan Engram for 21 yards. That was like one of his only big catches of the day. Then we stalled in the red zone again. 3rd and 8 at the Washington 11, and we give up a sack. Cam Fleming couldn't protect against Ryan Kerrigan, who apparently is like trade bait for Washington. I guess they're going to look into trade him, I guess. So many red zone trips, and we're just so awful in the red zone. We're like among the league's worst in the red zone. And it's just sad. It's just sad at this point. If we just convert on like half, or like a third of those red zone trips, what our record would be. Ooh, get giddy thinking about it. The next Washington drive. Again, play action. Why we deviate from it, I don't know, especially early on in the game when, it's hard to tell whether the run game is, whether the defense has their beat on it. So you should be more prone to use it in the beginning of the game because you're not sure how the defense is going to respond, if they're going to respect it or not. So I don't know why we're not doing that more often. And then there's some stats about the read option and whatever zone reads later on in a little bit that are just like mind-blowing that with those statistics that we don't go with it more. Next drive, Allen throws a shitty pass and James Bradberry picks it off. Holla back. And for once, the Giants make the most of it. We don't fail to capitalize on it. We turn a turnover into a touchdown, which is what you got to do if you want to succeed in this league. Shotgun formation, Jones passed deep left to Darius Slayton for 23 yards. Slayton looked like he hurt himself, like his foot or his toe came up a little gimpy, but a nice catch, nice throw, beautiful throw with a guy in his face. I guess Matt Peart started at left tackle for Andrew Thomas, who was being benched because he was late to a meeting, which I don't know. You got to respect it, right? It's the old Tom Coughlin way of thinking. But Danny Dimes Jones standing in there, taking the hit and throwing a dime. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. He threw a perfect pass, but Peart held his own. Did get kind of beat towards the end, and I think it was Montez Sweat or maybe it was Chase Young got a hand on Jones, but it was not enough to interrupt the flow. Following drive, Leonard Williams gets a big sack, 14-yard loss. It's 3rd and 24 from the Giants' 37. If we hold them there, you're looking at a 54-yard field goal, which Hopkins already missed from 47. Do they kick it from 54 yards out? I don't know. I mean, Riverboat Ron, he's a gambler. He likes to take chances, but I don't know that he wants to take another chance with Hopkins and then give us the ball in pretty good position. And if he does kick it, does Hopkins correct himself and is able to hit it? I don't know. Instead, we give up a 20-yard pass. Allen, we played so far off, and Allen throws it to McLaurin on like a bubble screen, flash screen, and McLaurin turns it into big yards, goes down to the Giants 17. Of course, they're able to kick the field goal. Ensuing drive. So we're now looking at it's 10-3, right? We got 10, they got 3. Jones goes on a nice 49-yard run. He fakes to Freeman. He faked out the cameraman and just burns by everyone. One of the fastest quarterbacks in the league. People call, Darius Slayton call him Daniel Jackson. Some people call him Vanilla Vic. Not a fan of that because of Vic's history, not only of dog killing, but also of playing with the Eagles. So maybe we got to come up with a different name. But yeah, I mean, this is what you got to do. You got to do designed runs with him because he's our top rusher. He's one of the 3 quarterbacks in the league that are like the top, also the top rusher on the offensive side of the ball. It's him, Lamar Jackson, and I don't think it's Kyler Murray. I can't remember the third one. Apologies. First and goal at the Washington 6. Got to be a touchdown. Absolutely. You can't settle for a field goal there. That's a Washington win when you settle for a field goal. First and goal to 6, you have got to come up with a play. There has to be a play in your arsenal that is foolproof, that you know your team can execute, that you know you can get them open, you can know someone is Mr. Dependable inside the 5, inside the 10, inside the 20. There has to be someone like that. And we don't have that guy. We don't have someone like that. That should have been a touchdown. And then we had of course, the other drive that ended in the Kendall Fuller interception that probably should have been 6. Then we were down close and deep in Washington territory. So we settled for the field goal. It's 13-3. We should be up. It feels like we're crushing it in that, like, we're running away with this game. If not, slow jog. It's not exactly a sprint away with the game, but it's a slow jog away with the game. Like, we have things in control. And then again, end of the first half, end of the half. So it's the opening drives and the end of the half that really have just been diabolical, excruciating for our defense. 2nd and 17 at the Washington 34. Then we had a 3rd and 9 at the Washington 42. Washington picks up the first down. They had a 4th and 9 at the Giants 45. And then we get a running into the punter. A Blake Martinez defensive holding. And then we get the touchdown pass to Logan Thomas. What? Yeah, it's just like beating ourselves. So it's 13-10 at half. Second half, third quarter starts off. We get the big play, 23-yard run from D.Jones scrambling up the middle. He gets hit, unnecessary roughness. We got 3rd and 1 at the Washington 37. We get stuffed. Can't have it happen. You just can't. 4th and 2, we line up, but then we don't go for it. We try to draw Washington off sides, and instead we take the delay game. I say go for it. We could have gone for it. We could have kicked a field goal. It would have been a 55-yarder. Who knows what Gano, Gano's great on turf without the elements. Maybe not so much in the Meadowlands, but see what you're working with. See what you're twerking with there. And instead we punted. So it felt like a cop-out. Luckily, Washington goes 3 and out. And then this was the killer. Giants go on a 14-play, 64-yard drive. It's mostly the Devonta Freeman show. 18-yard pass to Darius Slayton over the middle. He looks like he's injured and he's hurt. And he's limping, which is not great because we literally don't have anyone else to throw the ball to in terms of receivers. And then 1st and goal at the Washington 7. Jones, I think, tries play action. He's getting rushed and he just throws it. I don't know if he's trying to throw it away. He's trying to throw it to Slayton in the end zone, but he doesn't get enough. He either overthrows Slayton or he doesn't get enough on it to throw it out of the back of the end zone. And Fuller comes up with a diving interception that, his elbow was out. So it's like, I don't know what the fuck the ref's looking at on the review. But so instead of points, we come away with nothing. That's another. It's just like the Steelers drive, 19 plays, no points. This Washington drive, 14 plays, no points. This David Powis, I don't know who it is. David Powis on Twitter said the Giants have 10 drives of 10 or more plays this year, and they've scored a touchdown on 1. That's got to be a record. Has to be. And it's an insane record to have. That you can string together that kind of successful drive. To get 10 plays, you're doing something right once every 3 or 4 downs, And then to come away with just one touchdown on all those drives. And there have been multiple drives where they come away with no points. What are we doing? And it's remarkable and flabbergasting that D.Jones like did not have a red zone interception all of last year or like his senior or junior years at college. And now he has 2, maybe 3 red zone interceptions. Maybe 4. I don't know. But they're killers. So I don't know how you clean it up. Better play calling, better protection, better decision making. And that's why even though we got the win and we'll get into that, but we'll talk about the fourth quarter first. So Washington responds with a 14-play drive of their own, and they end up getting a field goal. A couple series go by, nothing really happens, and then you have the K.Allen fumble, Kyler Fackrell with the forced fumble. Joe Judge reviewed this play on the Joe Judge report, and it's interesting to see. You had Cam Brown coming off the left edge, who actually went a little bit too far. He didn't really contain as much as Judge would have liked, but Leonard Williams was able to fill in so that K.Allen couldn't scramble to the left. He had a stunt with Fackrell and Martinez, so I think Martinez comes up the middle and Fackrell comes to the outside, or maybe it's Martinez pushes up straight forward the field and Fackrell comes around up and then ends up catching Allen and then stripping him. And then Tate Crowder somehow picks up the ball and scampers 43 yards for a touchdown. I don't know if I was just buzzed or drunk or what, but I thought it looked like he was running in goddamn molasses, like slow motion for me. I yelled, run faster. That's all I yelled was run faster, because all I could see was T.McLaurin tearing ass, and if it weren't for Cam Brown, who actually, because he came out so wide, was in a good position to get the block on McLaurin to at least give Crowder enough of a chance to score, which was great. And then Martinez also got a block. So that's two defensive touchdowns in 2 weeks. You like what the defense is doing. You just kind of wonder why they break down it on the opening drive and on the last drive of the first half. If they can get that under control, we'd be in a much better spot. Now, obviously, it's like I'm not saying the offense shouldn't be to blame. I mean, the offense is completely to blame for the losses that we have. But I'm just saying, maybe our defense can really carry us even more by not having these letdowns at the beginning of the game and towards the end of the first half. So we have 3.5 minutes left in the game, 2013. And you figure, okay, the defense has played really well up to this point. The one touchdown, it was Logan Thomas, who is just outsized. They had Julian Love on Logan Thomas, which I did not understand, on the outside. And of course, Logan Thomas won that battle. They got to figure out what to do with Julian Love. There's some talk about how that he should not be a safety. They're going to move him to corner, but does he play better on the outside? Yes, against the receiver, no against the tight end. So it's a matter of just like, I don't know, tinkering some more. I feel like that's like that's all we've done is just tinker into most defenses are like set. They know what they are. They know what they're doing. This defense is still like figuring it out. The offense just has no clue, but the defense at least seems to be getting a little bit better. I thought that they were going to have a good game this week, and they did, but then it's like 3.5 left in the game. You allow a 10-play touchdown drive. You had 3rd and 5 at the Washington 30, and you let up an 18-yard pass to McLaurin. You have a 3rd and 7 at the New York 49, and you allow a 13-yard pass to J.D. McKissic. And then you have a 2nd and 10 at the New York 22. Allen hits Cam Sims for a 22-yard touchdown. It was a double move out and up on Logan Ryan, who is a veteran. You'd think he wouldn't fall for that kind of shit, but he did. And now it's 2019 with 43 seconds left. And you're thinking to yourself, holy shit, we're actually going into overtime against the Washington football team. And who knows what happens in overtime. Instead, Riverboat Ron, like only Riverboat Ron can do, decides to go for it and gamble and roll the dice and go for the 2-point conversion, which, on the road, play for the win on the road, play for the tie at home. Is that the saying? Maybe I have it reversed. But they go for 2 points, and then the defense actually does put on a pretty good stand on the 2-point conversion. You had Dexter Lawrence get some pressure and get a hit on K.Allen, forcing him to throw the ball early, and we come away with the win. And we get the nice gymnastics display from Jabril Peppers, who is like battling an injury. It was like, I know I'm like old man shouting at the clouds, but I'm also like, Jabril, you've had such issues with injuries. Let's not tempt fate. Glad you're happy. Glad we got the win. But let's not pull like a fucking, what's his name? That kicker from the Cardinals who hurt himself celebrating. Guantanamera? No, that wasn't his name. Grammatica. Jesus.